Hello everybody, another one of Beatles Dave's videos from here in Derby in the UK. For this video I thought we'd take a look at the album The Beatles Rarities. But the strange things about this album is there was actually two albums called The Beatles Rarities and they've got completely different content. This is the USA version, and then in the UK we had this one, The Beatles Rarities. And there's actually quite a lot of difference in them. I mean, it's not just the covers that are different. It's the content, the songs, and everything are different. So we'll start off with looking at this one, which was released in the USA in 1980, I think it was. So you get a nice cover, and that there, it looks like a photo, is actually slightly embossed, so you can actually feel the edges. And then there's some on the back here, and again, they are slightly embossed as well, or embossed, or whatever you call it. So it's like you can actually feel that it's like feeling a real photo sort of thing. That's the front cover, and that's the back cover. Come on, actually, just bear with one sec. It's better. Yeah, so that's the back cover. That's the front cover. The catalogue number on this one is SHAL 12060. Capital stroke EMI logo down there. Produced by George Martin. You've got a barcode up here as well. The nice thing about this one is it's actually a gatefold sleeve that opens up. You actually get the butcher cover there, and then you get pictures on this one. Construction is very, very good for an American album, but like I said, by the 1980s and the 1990s, the American albums were beginning to be made a lot more like the British ones. But having said this, this still isn't laminated, so it is very, very dull. I mean, I used to have a French version of this, and it was like really, really shiny, and the inside was shiny. But again, you know, even the inside of this isn't laminated. It might look laminated because of that light up there, but it isn't. It's very, very dull. So I think you've basically got, obviously, the butcher cover. I think this is 1966. That's the conference there by the looks of it. And then various photos from, you know, various years. That is what the original B issue of the butcher cover was going to be. It was going to be a colour one. And then blanked it all out, didn't they, in the end? So, yeah, like I said, this was released in 1980 in the USA. So you've got the track listing on this is Love Me Do, Misery, There's a Place, Seladich, which is German for She Loves You. I might have said it wrong, but And I Love Her, Help, I'm Only Sleeping, and I'm the Walrus. Side 2, you've got Penny Lane, Helter Skelter, Don't Pass Me By, The Inner Light, Across the Universe, You Know My Name, look up the number, and the Sergeant Pepper in the Groove. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the detail of this because one, it'll take ages and ages and ages. But basically, this is a collection of songs that are slightly different to the released versions that you would have got in the America at the time. Off the top of my head, I know I'm the Walrus has got extra line in it somewhere. Penny Lane has got the extra trumpet at the end. And I think that Love Me Do is the original version with Ringo Starr on. Because in America, when it was released as a single, it was the Alan White version, wasn't it? So there is like slight differences. I mean, it does give you all the information, but like I say, if I go into that, it's going to take us hours into it. But yeah, all in all, I'd say a good compilation. So that was the sleeve. Sorry, the cover. This is the inner sleeve that you got with it. Love that photo, John Lennon there. It's like he's taking the mick into again. There is actually some nice photos on that from various points in the Beatles' career. Yeah, so like I say, this is the American version, which was released in 1980. And it's on the Rainbow Capital label, side 1, and that's side 2. I think you can actually see these okay on here. It's like I've said before, it's usually the Apple labels that don't seem to come out very good on this for some reason. Always looks blurry, or the B sides always look like they've got no text on them or anything, look blank. Nice heavyweight record. So yeah, like I say, all in all, really nice compilation. Sound quality and everything is okay on it. I'll go into values and stuff in a bit. So that is the American one, which came out in 1980. Now, in the UK, we didn't get this. What we got was this. Really imaginative cover. Now, originally, this was part of the Beatles LP box set of the studio albums. So this was actually a sampler album not for sale. And it came out in 1978 with the box set. So the number on this is PSLP 261. It was later released on its own because a lot of people in the UK complained that the only way to get this so-called free album was to pay the £200 or whatever it was for the box set at the time. So the track listing on this is side 1, Across the Universe. Brilliant version. It's the version that was on the World Wildlife Fund album 1969. Yes, it is. This boy, the Inner Light, I'll Get You, Thank You Girl, Die Kommende Meine Hand, and I've said that wrong. That's the German version of I Want to Hold Your Hand. You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. Sella Dich, German version of She Loves You. Side 2, you've got Rain, one of the most brilliant B-sides to a Beatles single ever. She's a Woman, again, a brilliant B-side. Matchbox, I Call Your Name, Bad Boys, Slow You Down, I'm Down, and Long Tall Sally. So what the American version, the American album of the same name, basically was more Rarities, where the British album, the Beatles Rarities, is more sort of like B-sides and EP tracks, which in one ways, I'm not criticising it, but I think the American version, had a hell of a lot more imagination go into it. You got, nice artwork and everything. And this is mono and stereo. That's side 1. And that is side 2. So yes, this was released on the 2-box EMI Parlophone logo, silver and black. Like I say, originally, this is the one that was in the box set. As compilations go at the time, obviously when this came out in the UK, nice EMI sleeve. I was looking on eBay the other day, and there was somebody selling one of these sleeves on its own. No record or anything, just that sleeve, £14.99, and then they wanted something stupid like £3 postage and packaging on top of that. Yeah, so like I was saying, in the UK, this is what we got in 1978. If you got the money to buy the box set. So I'll just get the one that was released after that. So just bear with one sec. So when EMI or Parlophone relented, but the only way to get a free album was was basically to buy the other albums that most people had already got. They released this one. So you see, the front is very, very, very similar, isn't it? But the back, they went into a bit more detail on this one. So they did what we used to call liner notes, which is all this here. So this gives you a lot of the information about the tracks, like it did on the American one. The track list and everything is the same. But the strange thing about this is they gave it a different catalogue number, where that one is PSLP 261. This one, the one that you could go out in the shops and actually buy, was PCM 1001. 1001. Well, I had a different catalogue number, I don't know. And you don't get the sample thing there that like you do on that one. What did it say? Sampler album not for sale. That's not on here. Like I say, the liner notes, as they used to be called, was done by a guy who worked for a record company, record magazine paper, wasn't it? Called Sounds in the UK. So he actually does go into quite a bit of detail about why these are different to the versions that you could have got on other albums or singles. Like I say, basically what we got wasn't really a Rarities album at all. It was more an album of some album tracks and B-sides and a few EP songs. The only real rarity on here, to be honest, is Across the Universe, because that was on a World Wildlife Fund album originally. And obviously the two German language songs, we never really got them released in the UK, because basically we don't speak German, do we, in the UK? So I think it's still on the same label. It's still on the 2-box EMI, but obviously it has got this slightly different catalogue number. It's all banded very nice. Like I said, compilations go at the time. In the UK, this is what we got. Whether it should have been called the Beatles Rarities, I'm not 100% sure. That's just my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I like it. And like I said, there is some really nice songs on it. I Call Your Name was only never released as a EP track in the UK, with Matchbox. Bad Boy, you got that in America in 1965. We had to wait till 1966 for a collection of Beatles oldies but goldies LP. I'm Down, classic song. Across the Universe, I've already mentioned. The Inner Light, a lovely George Harrison song. Thank You Girl, early John Lennon sort of like love songy sort of thing. Yeah, so all in all, that's probably more thought has gone into that because of the liner notes on the back. That was supposed to be a free album, but you could only get it free by buying the box set at the time, and that's why it's like this, because that's what the front of the box looked like. So I can sort of understand why it was like that. No information whatsoever on the back of that one. So for this one, I would actually say America got it right, because what you in America got, or in the USA, whatever you want to say, is something that was more worthy of the name, the Beatles Rarities. Like I said, we got our Beatles Rarities weren't really rarities, were they? They were just like EP tracks and B-sides of singles, basically. What you got was actually more sort of like rarities from around the world, one day I will make a video and go into more detail about this, because it is actually quite a good album. Yes, there's a couple of songs that are the same on it. Obviously, you've got the Inner Light, Across the Universe, and My Name, Look Up the Number, which was on the British one. But apart from that, apart from the German language version of She Loves You, everything else on here is different to the UK version. So for once, I'd say, although the Beatles used to say that Capitol butchered the Beatles UK albums, hence the butcher cover, which I've done another video on, if you'd like to watch that one if you haven't already done it. I would say for once, Capitol got it right on this one. EMI, Parlophone, probably got wrong on that one. That's just my opinion. Like I say, I do still rate this album, just not as much as the American version, because what you got was the Beatles Rarities, where we didn't, did we, really? We just got, as I've said before, EP tracks and a couple of album tracks and a couple of B-sides. That would have been better just calling it, I don't know, the Beatles Plus or something like that. The problem I've got with this is the name. I haven't got a problem with what's in it as such, but to call it the Beatles Rarities, it's not really a Rarities album, is it? And at the time, you could get, or if you got the money, or you was around in the 60s, you'd probably have everything on here anyway, because like I say, most of it is B-sides and EP tracks. So if I was going to mark it out of 10, which I don't usually do, I don't usually like doing this, for the name alone, that would get a 6 out of 10, the British version. The contents, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. Like I said, the contents I've got no problem with. It's just being called the Beatles Rarities, where really it's not there. The American version, I think this came out in Canada as well. And like I say, years ago, I did have a French version of this as well, which was exactly the same. The only difference was it was on the Parlophone label instead of Capitol. I'd give Capitol 10 out of 10 for this. The artwork, yeah, okay, that is a little bit basic on the front. But like we say, you've got the gatefold sleeve, you've got the butcher cover, which is a rarity in itself, with the Rarities theme, and the natural songs that you have got on it are there, or there to the, if you lived in the USA at the time. So yeah, that is more worthy of the title of the Beatles Rarities. Okay, some of the songs on here wouldn't have been there in the UK, and vice versa. So it's like Capitol did this for the American market, and EMI and Parlophone did that for the UK market. Now, the other thing about this record is, years and years and years ago, I don't know what happened to it, but I had this, and it was actually on the Apple label. I don't think it was a British version. I think it was may have been a German version. But can I find it? No, I can't. I don't know. I might have sold it at some point. I just don't know what happened to it. So yeah, so Beatles Rarities album. If you want the Rarities album, look for this one. You can still get this. All in all, it is an enjoyable album to listen to. If I was going to pick a fault with it, the only fault is Don't Pass Me By just slightly, how can I put it? Doesn't really fit with this. It's like, because you've got Helter Skelter. And we all know Helter Skelter, diddle diddle diddle. And then Don't Pass Me By, Don't Make Me Cry. Yes, I know they was on the same album originally, but they weren't like that, was they? And then obviously you got Helter Skelter, Don't Pass Me By, then you got the Inner Light. It just doesn't seem to go with the flow, if that makes sense. But then again, it's on here because it was rare to you in the UK, USA. I'm Only Sleeping, I'm the Walrus, as I've said. Yes, I would highly recommend this one. These, I'd still recommend them. The content is good. And if you're sort of new to the Beatles now, and you haven't got all the singles or the EPs, because the EPs are quite hard to get now. You know, you pick this up and you've got most of the EP tracks, or the better EP tracks, shall we say, and you've got a lot of the decent B-sides of the Beatles singles. So if you've got that and the Beatles 1962 to 66 and the Beatles 66 to 70, then you've got probably the best sort of like tracks that were released in the UK up until this. There has been better compilations since that. Like I say, that one with the factory thing on it, which was originally in the box set, usually goes for around the £25-30 mark. This one, which could go to the shops and buy, so it's got like the slightly different catalogue number, is probably worth between £15 and £20. This one, I'm not quite sure. I'd say it's probably worth around the £30 mark. Obviously, if you live in America, this is probably quite rare, quite common, and the British ones are rare to you. That's just the strange thing. What's common to us in the UK is rare to you in America, and what's common to you in America can be very rare to us in the UK. It's obviously if you live in the country where these originally came from, they're more common, aren't they? But having said that, these are getting quite scarce now to find. They do come up on, don't get me wrong, they do come up on eBay and on Discogs, and it's usually that one that comes up and not that one. And that's the one from the box set, and this is the one that you could go out and buy separate. There's not really a great deal of difference, is there, in them, to be honest. It's just the back cover, really, if you think about it. The content's the same, front cover's the same. But yeah, like I said, although it sounds like I've had a go at this LP, I haven't had a go at the LP. I think the LP is a good LP as compilation albums go. It's just the title, the Beatles Rarities, because it's not really the Rarities. Where the American one, I would happily say, yeah, that is a Rarities album. And that's going to be about it for today. The second video off me today. I wasn't going to do a second one today, but then because I looked outside and I thought, well, there's not really a lot else to do. My missus isn't very well, and she's resting downstairs. So I just thought, yeah, I'll do another one now. So if you haven't seen my other video from today earlier on, that was about something else by the Kinks. Yeah, not about the Beatles, about the Kinks. Like I said, I'm going to do every now and again. I will do something that isn't about the Beatles, but obviously it's Beatle Dave, isn't it? Especially there, Beatle Dave. So 99.9% of the time it will be about the Beatles. I hope these videos are entertaining for you. Like I say, I do really enjoy making them. Most of the time it is off the top of my head. I'll just pull out a record and I'll tell you what I think about it, what the track listing is, what I think about it. Sometimes I have to write a couple of notes down, like sometimes if I'm on about things on the dead wax and things like that, or catalogue numbers, or when an album was recorded, or where it was recorded, what studio. Sometimes I do forget, so sometimes I will just scribble it down on a little bit of paper. But that's just me. If you follow my videos, I haven't really been doing this very long. I think it's coming up to about 2 months now. I think it's about 8. I think this is the 8th week. I think 7th or 8th week. So everybody that's watching my videos, liking my videos, commenting on my videos, thank you very much. If you're thinking of subscribing and you haven't yet done so, please do. Just press the subscribe button, and if you want notifications, you can press the notification bell, and then you will get notifications when I am doing things like this. I do try and do 2 or 3 a week. Sometimes it could be slightly more, sometimes it could be slightly less. Just depends what shifts I'm on at work, to be honest. and how tired I'm when I'm at work, because sometimes I get really tired, but that's by the by. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed and you're thinking about it, please do. If you have subscribed, and you know people that other people in your family or some of your friends that like records, or they like the Beatles, or they like just records in general, you know, tell them they might want to subscribe as well. Like I say, it doesn't cost you a penny. This is a daft thing about YouTube. Till I started this, I used to think, well, if somebody subscribes to your channel, then they've got to pay something because it's a subscription. But it's not. It's a free subscription. Yeah, something for free, and anything for free, in these days is good, isn't it? Anyway, that's it for today, and it is going to be it for today. I'm not going to do any more today. I'll say that. I don't know. I might get bored in a bit and think, oh yeah, I'll do a video on that one. Like I say, I've got some ideas for future videos. As always, love your records, cherish your records, clean your records, but above all, play your records. That's what they're there for, to be played and to be loved. Whatever you're doing out there in the world, please stay safe. Weekend's coming up, so if you're out, looking for records, whether they be new records or second-hand records, or you're going to record fairs or market stalls or whatever, just be careful and be safe. If you're going to any record fairs and you're looking at a record, you're not quite sure what it is or anything, just ask the bloke that's selling it, or the woman that's selling it, or the people that are selling it, because they're more than happy to tell you what it is. You might think, well, is it a first pressing, a second pressing, things like that. Don't be shy to ask the person that's selling it anything that you want to know. Because you don't want to buy something thinking it's a first pressing and then get home and find out it's a fourth or fifth pressing. If you haven't paid much for it, it doesn't make any difference. But as a collector, it can. But don't be afraid to ask questions. This is a thing about, if you're just getting back into record collecting, or you're new to record collecting, and you go into like a great big record shop. I'm not going to mention any names, but I went in one and I got told off, so that's gave you a hint. Sometimes if you go in a place like that, it can be very, very daunting, because if you ask them any questions, like you might just go up and say, oh, have you got any David Bowie LPs? And they'll look at you as if to say, well, use your eyes. They don't say it, they say it with a face. Now, to me, that's wrong. If you're going to go in and you're going to spend your money, or you might spend some money, they should be helpful to you, shouldn't they? If you go in second-hand record shops, it doesn't matter. Every record, second-hand record shop I go in, and there's a few I do go in, and they all know me now anyway, so but that's by the by. Even if they didn't know me, if I wasn't sure something, I'd ask them. And 99 times out of 100, unless they're like really, really busy, they will take the time and they will explain things to you. So don't be scared to ask a question. If you're thinking of buying a record, say if you're thinking of buying that, you went into a record shop and you saw that, right? You haven't watched this video, you saw that, and then you saw that one. Now, they probably might be up for two completely different prices, but you're going to look at that and you think, well, they're both the same record. That's what I'm saying. It's very confusing, because they're not, are they? As we've gone into, the contents are different. So I would go up and I would like to say, well, what's the difference? I have to turn around and go, they won't. Well, look on the backs and things like that. But even if you look on the back, some of the track listing is the same, isn't it? But like I say, don't ever be scared to ask a question. If you live in Nottingham, or if you live in the East Midlands and you want to go to Nottingham, there is some really, really nice record shops in Nottingham for second-hand records. You've got Big Apple Records in West End Arcade. You've got Records 33, which is also in West End Arcade. They've got like a really, 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 really good selection. Big Apple Records is not just Beatles; it's everything from rock and roll up to modern day. Records 33 is the same, really good selection. You've got Rob's Record Mart on Hertz Yard, which is like a little alleyway. Brilliant shop. Rob's been there for years and years and years. I don't think how many years he's been there. Very, very knowledgeable chap is Rob. He's always happy to answer your questions. You go in and it looks a bit of a, don't mean this horrible. If you're watching Rob, I don't mean it horrible. It looks a bit of a mess, but sort of like organised mess, if you know what I mean. You can ask him and he'll go, yeah, I've got that sort of record over there. And he'll show you. If you like your Motown and your soul and stuff like that, he's got thousands of them. Beatles, he's got Rolling Stones, Madonna, Adam and the Ants, Madness, David Bowie, you name it, he's got it. And his prices are really, really reasonable as well. If you come into Derby, we've got a nice record shop, BPM, beats per minute, off Sadlergate. I think it's Blacksmith's Yard. My mate Dave, I'll have to go and see him while I'm off. I haven't been seeing him for a while. Again, he's got a brilliant selection. He's been in the record business for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And I don't mean that disrespectful. He really does know what he's on about. If you're into your dance music and stuff like that, he's got loads of that. He's also got like your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s and stuff like that. He sells CDs as well. He does sell some brand new records, not many, but he does sell new records, and he will promote, like if it's local artists and things like that that are starting out, or they might have like a limited edition of like a single or something. He does promote them for them as well. He's got like a massive room upstairs as well, where he sells his records that aren't as good as the ones downstairs. You know, they might not have posters with them, or the sleeves might be ripped or something like that. Really good selection up there, actually. I've got some of my Beatles, not Beatles, but like some of the solo ones up there. I think they start from around £3, and I think it's £3 each, or £4 for tenner. I could be wrong, you might, but you know. So if you're in Derby, go and see him. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. I hope it's been a little bit entertaining. That's what I'm here for, is to entertain you and pass on a little bit of my knowledge. So I'm not going to talk anymore. I am going now. Been another long video. I was thinking, I'll do a 10-minute video on this. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. So like I say, whatever you're doing, just stay safe, love one another and be nice to one another. And I'll see you on the next video.